Good afternoon, everybody. Harry Newhand here. Thanks for joining me today. Wow, that 5 days was fast. Today is day 5 of this daily event that I've been doing leading up to tomorrow's free workshop. Tomorrow's free 2 to 3 hour workshop starts at 12 noon Eastern Time. And right here, there's a Zoom link. So when you register, free registration, the link is in the Facebook group. Click it, register. Even if you can't make it, you will get the recording. We'll send you the recording. So go ahead and register. Again, it doesn't cost anything. You can spread the word, send it out to anybody you want. I've already had a couple people reach out to me and they want to get it to their friends, their downline, their sidelines, their uplines. And that certainly is going to be a powerful event tomorrow. And I'll get into a little bit more of that in just a minute. But what I want to do is recap real quick. Talk about Monday. If you haven't had a chance, these little training shorts, they're about 10 to 12 minutes long. They're not that long, and they're powerful. And if you accumulate the skills and the information that I share with you, the strategies, it can change your entire life. Not only has it changed my life from a young age in my 20s and 30s, but I've been able to share this with countless people, team members, friends, associates, clients, and companies, and I've been able to share it, and it has changed. The impact has been global. It's very, very exciting. So hopefully you take it seriously, enjoy it, have fun. But if you really lock into these strategies, especially tomorrow is just going to knock your socks off. But let's get into that. So Monday we talked about the daily method of operation, DMO, distinguishing between busy work and productive work. And we went into, like I said, about 10-minute training, and that was really impactful for me because when I became an entrepreneur in my own distributorship, it wasn't easy for me to make the transition from employee to business owner. So that we talk a little bit about that. And then Tuesday, we talked about understanding distractions and the disciplines to know how to identify them. Distractions lead to procrastination. Sometimes they're self-induced. Many times it's our environment that we're in, coworkers, family members, depending on if you're working from home or if you have an office, employees, if you've got employees. Yeah, if you have walk-in customers, that could be a distraction. But distractions, the definition, real simply, is anything that prevents you from doing your daily method of operation, what you do on a daily basis to build your business, to get customers, get clients and distributors. So understanding those. Then Wednesday we talked about the process of learning, then doing, and then fixing and refining along the way. So hopefully as you've been learning these strategies I've been sharing with you, you've been implementing them in your business at some level. And then again, tomorrow, off the hook. Yesterday we talked about staying true to yourself in what you want to achieve. So as long as, because there's going to be the naysayers out there. There's going to be people raining on your parade, especially the people that are close to you. They're going to, and they do it many times out of love. You know, they just don't want to see you get hurt, or they think you're listening to the wrong people. And it's that, that mastermind philosophy. If you're trying to make $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, anybody that's making less than that, that's got a job, a 9-to-5 job, they want to work 20, 30 years and retire with a pension, they're going to rain on your parade because they don't want to see you go outside of their center of influence. They don't want to see you grow because they don't have the desire to grow. So that's it. Sometimes it's out of love, sometimes it's out of misunderstanding, and sometimes it's just out of cruelness. People raining on your parade, telling you that you don't know what you're doing, you don't know, how to build a business, and it doesn't take away from the fact that you can learn. Like Jim Rohn talked about, the more you learn, the more value you bring to the marketplace, which increases your income. So today I want to talk about prospecting and inviting someone to look at your opportunity or your product. And there's a process here. By the way, each one of those 4 days leading up to today leads into the mindset of what we're going to talk about here today. And then tomorrow is just going to lock everything together. But prospecting and inviting someone to look, it's important, I think, for you to understand, why are you prospecting? Are you prospecting to get people to join your company? Are you prospecting to get somebody to buy your products? It's a fine line, but if you're prospecting, if that's your objective, you're setting yourself up not to win. You're not putting the advantages in your favor. What do I mean by that? You say, Harry, that's what I do. I sell and I recruit. I understand that. But if you're prospecting just to do those two things, you're going to have your percentages are going to be way down. You're going to have a revolving door, and you're going to be doing a lot of work in getting little results. I want you to try to understand this, change your thinking a little bit. Prospect to get somebody to look, listen, and decide. All you want them to do is look. If you can send them a 2 to 5 minute sizzle video on your products, if you can send them a 2 to 5 minute sizzle video on your opportunity, if you can get them just for 2 to 5 minutes to look, that's got enough information for them to say, I want to know more. So they're going to listen to it, so make sure that you qualify the time that they're going to watch it, and decide if they want to know more. Not decide if they want to join your company, not decide if they want to buy your product, decide if they want to know more. And then you start dripping on them. So there's a philosophy that I teach regularly. It's called, if you're going after the sale, if your objective is to make a sale, if your objective is to recruit, then you're setting yourself up to lose. The sale and the new recruit is a result of what you do before that. Getting someone to buy is a result of a well-crafted presentation, is a result of you doing your work of guiding them through the process of getting the answers. And here's one of the things I used to teach my door-to-door guys, and it's applicable to anybody in sales, any sales professional, whether you're cars, real estate, insurance. If your prospect, as long as the door's open, keep talking. Now, how do you apply that to cars, real estate, insurance, and any other kind of sales? Well, as long as they don't say, no, I'm not interested, never call me again, don't send me anything again, then continue sending them stuff. Send them another tool, send them another video. So you start with a sizzle video, an invitation to look at a sizzle video. So the invitation, make sure you have the messaging right. If you need help with that, let me know. But the messaging to get them to look at the sizzle video. And then if you follow up, that's critical. Follow up, say, what did you think? Wasn't that amazing? What was the best part you liked about it? What was the thing that struck you the most impactful? And then you find out their answer. And usually it sounds really interesting. I'd like to know more. Then you send them the next thing, which could be maybe a Tuesday night webinar that your company's sponsoring, a half-hour webinar. And it's not you doing it, it's somebody in the company that's doing it. So it takes the pressure off of you. It validates what you sent them and what you're saying to them, and they see a bigger picture. So you're walking them through the steps of seeing a bigger picture. So as long as the door's open, keep on talking. Keep on sending them another tool. Invite them to another event, or have an event to invite them to, whether it's a live event or whether it's a coffee shop presentation face-to-face, a three-on-one, a three-way call with your sponsor, your upline, or somebody else that's successful that can help you through it. And then here's the thing that ties it together is ask and answer relevant questions to help them make an informed decision. Because everything up till then, they might have had an opinion on or heard somebody else's opinion. You want to get them the information so they can make an informed decision. So when you're first prospecting and they say, yeah, I've heard about that company, I'm not interested. Say, well, what have you heard about them? Well, a friend of mine's neighbor's cousin's brother joined that company. They got no support, and and they quit. And they were out, their starter pack. They couldn't get refunded on their starter pack. So ask the question so that you can identify it. Say, it's not for everybody. Not everybody is for this industry. But here's let me tell you about so-and-so. Let me tell you about so-and-so. Let me tell you about me. If you have a story, so all I want you to do is look. If you decide after you look that you don't want to know more, great. But if you want to know more, I've got the next thing for you. But will you take a look? It's 2 minutes long. Take a look. So your objective is to get them to look, to listen, and then decide. Don't go for the juggler on the first exposure, especially if you're cold prospecting on social media, which is very popular. I get people trying to send me invitations, trying to recruit me continuously, constantly. Because they know my history, they know my background, and they're going after the big, quote unquote, so to speak, doers that they think are doers out there. I'm not saying that I am one. I'm not in the industry. I haven't been in the industry for a long time. So I'm not recruitable, but they go after me as if I was. But if they're doing it to me, they're doing it to other people. They're not taking them through the process. They certainly weren't taking me through the process. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But you want to take your prospects through the process of look, listen, and decide. Don't go for the juggler too fast, especially cold prospects. All right, so that's our training for today. Tomorrow, again, register. It's free. If you register, I'll send you the replay. You'll have it for a few days to really, really watch it, metabolize it, and get some value out of it. It is going to be, in my opinion, I'm going to share 3 main topics with, of course, subtopics underneath. But the 3 main topics is what everybody that I have known, met, read about that has been successful has mastered these 3 things. Every single person. If you master one of them, it'll change your business forever. If you master all 3 of them, you'll be in the 1% of all income earners in the U.S. in a short period of time. That's how I was able to grow so quickly. And I didn't even realize it. But when I studied it over the last 90 days, I've been studying it, and I realized that that's exactly what I did. And that's why I was able to grow so fast. So we'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Time. Register for free. Spread the word. Have a great day, everybody. Bye now.